Hi everyone, Isha here. So for today's video, I'm going to be using my laptop, so I apologize if the video is a little blurry. So anyways, today's race was at the start interesting, and then it turned into one of the regular races from this season where everyone sort of later on in the pack is fighting, and then we have Max Verstappen dominating in the front. Now, I guess I'll start by talking about McLaren. So for McLaren, I think today I should mention Lando Norris because yesterday he qualified to start in 19th place, and then today he fought his way up to 5th place, which I think was really interesting to watch. And I said this on the Grid Network show that I just did a little bit ago as well. But I feel like him going from 19th place to 5th place is really a bit of a testament to the upgrades that McLaren has brought overall. I think it really shows how amazing their updates are to the car, and I think it also shows where they're going to be next season as well. I think that they're very likely to be competing with the Ferraris and Mercedes and the Red Bulls again next season, and I think that it's going to be really, really interesting to watch the competitions and whether they're able to win races as well next season. Now, switching over to that team right there, Ferrari. As a Ferrari fan, it was really, really amazing to see them starting from the front row today. To qualify for that pole and second place position for Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz yesterday was really amazing to see. And then today, I knew that they weren't going to win, but I was hoping for a double Ferrari podium, and at least we saw Charles Leclerc on the podium. Seeing one of the Ferraris up there is always a really good thing. But it would have been nice to see both of them up there. Carlos was close enough; he finished in 4th place. So it is what it is. Hopefully, the Ferrari will be a better car next season, and they will have better upgrades. Hopefully, so fingers crossed for that. A good season for McLaren and Ferrari next season. But now, moving over to Red Bull. So for Red Bull, obviously no need to talk about Max Verstappen because he won, as always, no surprise there. However, his teammate, Sergio Perez, so that first turn on that first lap, what an awful way for Sergio Perez to end his home Grand Prix. I personally think that, considering that was his home Grand Prix, he was trying to be a little bit eager, and on that turn, I feel like it was his fault because you had Charles Leclerc in the middle with Max Verstappen on the right and then Sergio Perez on the left. So Charles Leclerc couldn't have pulled over to the right more because he could have risked a collision with Max Verstappen. And I feel like Checo was the last person to become a part of that 3-car line in the front, right? So he was the one who I think should have pulled out when he realized that it was going to be too dangerous, and he tried to cut in too close to Charles Leclerc as well. And at the end of the day, he's the one who had to face the biggest problem because Charles Leclerc continued the race. He finished on the podium, right? But he had to retire his car, which is awful on the first lap of your home Grand Prix. That is an awful way to do it. And that further shows the possibility of him losing his seat for next season. And if he loses it, then Daniel Ricciardo is most likely to get it at this point because it's his second race back from when he joined halfway through the season, I believe, and he qualified to be in 4th place yesterday, right? Let me just check the results. Yes, he qualified to start in 4th place for today's race, and then he finished in 7th, which is really good considering that it's his only second race back, and I think he's definitely going to be after Checo's seat. Now, looking for a little bit at Max, he has had a very dominating season so far. He's already been the 2023 world champion, right? And something that we talked about on the Grid Network that I wanted to mention more in this video was that Max's domination, even if you're not a Red Bull fan or if you're not a Verstappen fan, you have to hand it to him for how incredible it is. Because in modern motorsports, where the teams are focusing more on parity and seeing more battles between the teams and seeing more equality in a sense. And in a time when the teams are making so much money and they have such a big budget to spend on their cars and drivers and stuff, right? to still see Max dominating is pretty incredible. And it's interesting to see him win race after race after race, and to just be setting all these new records. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs next season and what his plans are going to be, because Max has said before that if he keeps winning the championships, right, he's not the driver who'd want to stay for too long and keep doing the same thing over and over again. He'd be interested in moving to another motorsport series, which, you know, we don't know if that would exactly happen or when he plans to retire, but it's just going to be interesting to see where he goes, what he does, and how well he does it. Anyways, now, looking at the back of the pack. So, in today's race, we had 5 DNFs. We had 5 drivers who did not finish. They either crashed or had car issues or just any other sorts of problems. So I have the list right in front of me. So for the 5 drivers who DNF'd, we had Sergio Perez, Kevin Magnussen, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, and Logan Sargeant. Sargeant I feel bad for. I've mentioned this before in my past races. He's a rookie, but he has been having a quite a tough season. Except for last race where he, you could say, accidentally scored points because of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton being disqualified. But he is now not the driver with 0 points. He has 1 point. So, good for him, I guess. But anyways, that's, I guess, all I wanted to talk about today. So looking ahead at the next race weekend, it will be in Brazil, the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, and it's going to be a special one for me because that is also my birthday weekend. So, I hope that as a birthday gift, at least, we could see someone else win besides Max Verstappen. And considering that it is the Brazilian Grand Prix, where Mercedes has been very strong the past few years, last season we saw George Russell win, and the season before that we saw a Lewis Hamilton win. So, it would be a nice surprise to see Mercedes win, or to get a double podium, or to see anybody really beat Max Verstappen. But that's all for today. Until then, have a good time, and I'll see you guys in my next video.